Hello everyone, I Anilkar welcome you to my Angular 8 NGRX tutorial. Today is day 2 of NGRX tutorial. Before start my today's session, so if you see, this is my YouTube channel where you will find videos on Angular 8, React.js, HTML5, CSS3, all web technologies videos. These are my own videos and these are free to available. So I request you all to subscribe to my channel and get advantage of these videos and be confident in web development technology. So without wasting much time, let's jump into the today's session. Today is one of the important concepts we are going to learn, the NGRX concept in Angular 8. Today is day 2 of NGRX concept. So please watch my day 1 videos on NGRX before going through this video. So today we will work with the NGRX implementation in our login module, in our authentication module. So if I will reload my application, so this is the I am in the Redux tab. So this is my dev tools. So if you see in this dev tool, you will find couple of action which is being triggered. So the left hand side indicate the action which is being triggered, and right hand side you will find the state, even action details, what is the difference made by the action in the state. You will find all those information. Okay, so let's log out. So once again I will reload my applications. I have not logged out, so there was something error with that. Okay, so once your application get loaded, so this is the login screen that you will see for the first time. So when your application get loaded, and these are the actions which are being triggered in the left hand side of the dev tool, and here you will find the information related to action, your state, and the difference made by the action in your state. So if you see, this is the first action which is being dispatched. If I will go to my action tab, you will find the action having a type as @ngrx/store/init. So this is the action which is being triggered automatically by the Angular NGRX module, which is used for initialize your state of your application, to initialize the state in the store of your application. So if I will go to the state, this is my initialized state. So my store contains two states. One is auth, another is courses. In auth, we will store the user information. If user get logged in successfully, we will store the user information. In courses, we will find the information related to the course screen. Okay. And if you see, these are all built-in action which is being triggered automatically. If we are navigating from one page to another, you will find three actions which are being triggered: one request, navigation, navigated. These are the all router navigation actions which is being triggered. If I will go to this last action, you will see another router state is being added. This state contains the data related to your routing. So this is like, these are the action which is being triggered automatically because you have configured the store router connecting modules in your app module.ts file that we have seen in our day 1 video. Okay, so these are some of the actions which is being triggered by your NGRX module automatically. So let's see some built-in action. Once I click on the login, before the login, if you see, my application state is like this. Okay, there is nothing in my state. If I will click on the login button, you will see on click of login button, one action login page user login. This is the action. This is my custom action. This action I have created and it is being dispatched on click of the login button. If you see in the action tab, you will find this action is having a type as login page user login and a payload which contains the user details. Okay, so I usually name the action in such a way, like within the square bracket I specify the screen from which this action is dispatched. Outside the square bracket it contains the purpose of this action. So this action is dispatched from the login page, so that's why within the square bracket we have login page. And the purposes of this action is for user login, that's why we have mentioned user login. Okay, and I told you like action is an object having type and payload. Type is optional and type is mandatory and payload is optional. So this is the payload. Why this payload is needed? Means whatever the payload we will send with the action, that payload is going to be handled by the reducer and that is being used to update our state. If we go to our state for that action, if you see in the auth slice of the state, you will see the user information which is being loaded. So this user information is loaded into the store state by using the reducer, and reducer get this data from the action payload. So that's why action payload is required for this action. Okay, and if you see along with that, you will see request, navigation and navigated action which are being triggered if we are navigating from one page to another. These are being triggered because we have configured store router connecting module in app module.ts file. These are automatically triggered, so we don't have to do anything on that. And if you see, there are two more actions which are being triggered. These are all custom action that we have created. One is load all course action. If we go to the action, it has only type, no payload, means there is no change in the state in the store, and this action is being used for fetching the data from the database. So that's why payload is not needed. Once our data gets fetched from the database, then we need to store that data in the store. For storing the data in the store, we need another action. So this is the action. This action has a type as well as two payload. One course which contain array of courses. There are two courses, and another is original course object, which is the same, which contains same course data, but as we are using the Firebase, so in the Firebase you will get the data in the form of object, key then course, key then course. If I will go to my Firebase, you will see for the courses, if you see, this is the key, then for this key the course is this one, then key, then course is this one. So you will get in the form of an object having key value. So that object also I need to store in my store, so that I will manipulate with this data. So this is like, these are the two actions to fetch the data related to the course. So this will come later. So currently in today tutorial we will concentrate only on login action. Okay, so once again I will back to the login action. This login action has a type and a payload. Payload is the user detail of the successfully logged in user. This user detail is used for manipulating the state. So if you see, for the auth slice contains the user details. So initially auth slice was empty, now it contains the user details. So how this is happening, we will see from the code perspective. Let's go to first we will start with the auth.module.ts file. In this module we have defined auth component.html file. Okay. In auth.module.ts file, it has only one component, one is auth component, and here we have defined store module as well as effect module. So we have defined store module dot for feature, because it's a feature module, so that's why it's for feature. In the app module, if you remember, we have defined store module dot for root. Then the slice of the state, whatever the slice will mention here, the same slice you will find in the store. We have mentioned auth here, so that's why you are seeing auth here. If you have mentioned xyz here, then you have seen xyz here. So this is the slice of the state, and for manipulating this slice of state we need a reducer. This is the reducer, and this reducer we have to import. This is the custom reducer that we have created. We'll see that how we have to create a reducer, we'll see it later. Then we need an effects module. Why effects module is needed? Like I want to store the user information in my local storage also, so that on page refresh also we can able to retrieve the user information. For storing the user information in local storage, it is called a side effect, and all these things should be done in the NGRX concept, in the NGRX ecosystem. It should be done through effect module. So this is the effect module. So you have to use effect module dot for feature, which it take an array as an argument. In the array will provide the effect that we have created. Again, we have to import that effect. This is the custom effect that we have created. We will see how we can create that. So these are the two entries that is being needed in your feature module. Then we will go to the auth component.html file. This auth component.html file contains the HTML, which is a form having two elements. One is email input field, another is password input field, and second one is the login button. On click of login button, we have ng submit event, which is being configured to the login function. Let's go to the login function. So in the login functions, first of all we are calling the fetch user service. Okay, this fetch user means we are calling the fetch user function, which is being defined in the auth service. This fetch user function is used to fetch the data from the database. It's a get request. So once we get the data from the database, we are subscribing and we are getting the users. So here we are getting the array of users. Then what we are doing, we are iterating through the array of user and we are seeing whether. So if you see in my Firebase, let me go to the Firebase. This Firebase contains a user node having two users. So these two are the valid user. Except these two users, if user enter any other details, then that will be invalid user. So this is how, like, once we retrieve the users from the database, we are iterating through the array of users and checking whether the user, whatever the user has entered in the email and password field, whether that matches with any of the user in the array of users. If it is matches, then the sum will return true. That true will be stored in the login flag. Sum is a ES6 array function. This is nothing related to Angular. It's a ES6 concept. Then if login flag is false, then we have to show an alert message login failed. This is for unauthenticated users or incorrect users. So if it is login flag is true means it is a successfully logged in user. Then we are retrieving the corresponding user object from the array of user by using the find operator, which is again a ES6 function for the which is being applicable on the array. So once we get the user object, then we are dispatching an action using the dish.store.dispatch. So for this is the instance that we have to create using dependency injection. If you see, we have created by this way: private store, any name you can give, colon, which is of type store. Then the store, for this store we have to provide the global state. Global state is the app state. And if you see the store, we have to import the store from where? From @ngrx/store. And what this app state corresponds, this is the global state. So if you see, let me close this one so that I can open. So global state is for the global state there is a folder which is being created. Okay, this is the folder. This is the reducer folder which is being created by the command when you are installing npm install @ngrx/store. When you are installing that command, this folder will be created automatically. It is having only one file, index.ts file, and this index.ts file having a state called app_state. So this is the app_state. So once you install ngrx/store, you will get this file, but in that file you will find it is written export interface state, but I changed that state to app_state. So I have changed that at 3 places, one here, second here, third here. So now app_state is the global state because it is related to the global module, app module. And this is the how it is related to the app module, because it has a reducer, and this reducer we have defined in app module. So if you see, we have defined store module.for_root reducer. So this reducer is in charge of this global state, app_state. So that's why this app_state is the global state. So if you want to dispatch any action or subscribe to the store, so we have to create an instance of store having global state. So type for this store is the global state. So once we create an instance of the global store, then what we have to do, we have to dispatch an action, this.store.dispatch. Then this is the action. Login is an action that we have to provide, and we import this login action from auth.actions. This is the auth.action file in which we have created the login action. This is the login action. We will come to that. So this login action takes one parameter. This login action requires the payload, the user payload, so that we can store that in a store. So we are providing the payload in the form of object having key value pair. So if you see in the auth_action.ts file, login is an action having a type as well as an argument user, which is of type user. This user is the model that we have created. Okay, so that's why we are providing the payload as here. So actually this should be like this: user colon this variable, this user. If it is xyz or anything, that you have to provide user colon user. So as for the ES6 concept, if an object having key and value are same, then you have to remove this colon, and it will be like this. So it is same as user colon user. That's why I have written like this. Okay. Then after dispatching the action, we have to navigate to the course page. Once we navigate to the course page, I have implemented a can activate guard for the course page. Then can activate guard get activated. It will validate whether user has access to this course page or not. That is a different story. So we'll see how we can create this login action. So for that, I have created a file auth.action.ts file. In that file, I have created a constant login const. We have to export that login const, and we have to create an action using the create action method, which we have to import from @ngrx/store. Create action is an object having type and payload type, which mandatory payload is optional, but for login action we need the payload. So this is first the type. This is a type is a string. You can name anything, that is up to you, but I usually prefer the convention like this. Within the square bracket, I will place the screen or part of the application where I am dispatching this action. I am dispatching the action on the click of login button, so I have written login page. And what is the purpose of this action, which is written outside the square bracket. This is the convention that I follow. You can name as of your choice. There is no restriction on the name. So this is like name I usually prefer. It helps me in debugging. Then we have to provide the payload for the action. For payload, we have to import props. We have to import props from @ngrx/store. Props as a function, and which take a generic type as user colon user. This is the payload that we need for this props. We need a payload user of type user. If you need more payload, we can provide that using comma separated. Similarly, we have a logout action, which is again created by using the create action. But this logout action, for this logout, we don't need any payload. That's why payload is optional. And we have provided the type for this action like this way. Okay. So there are two actions in this auth.action.ts file. So once we create the action, then we have to import that action in a action type.ts file, so that we'll get an intelligence for the action wherever you will use it. We get a typecasting for the action. So you will use this action in reducer as well as in effect. So there you will see the advantage of importing that into the action type.ts file. So we are importing everything. Star means everything which is present in auth.action file, means this file. Everything means we are importing all the action, because export keyword is used for these two action. So these two are imported, and this imported action will be assigned to this alias. Then we are exporting that alias so that it can be imported. And this is the only use of action type.ts file. Let's go to the effect file. So why we are going to the effect file? Because the requirement is to store the user detail in local storage also, so that the user detail will be retained on page refresh. Because on page refresh, whatever you are stored in the store, that everything will get erased. So for returning those data, we need to store that in a local storage, so that on page refresh we will retrieve the data from the local storage. So this storing of data in the local storage is a side effect which is to be done using the effects module, using the effective way. So for that, for effect is nothing but a class having @injectable, just like a service. And in the effect, if you see, we have a constructor. In the constructor, we have to create an instance of actions. I have created a private action $actions. Then, okay, this actions is important. We have to import that actions from @ngrx/effects. Then we have to create an effect by using the create effect function. That also we have to import from @ngrx/effect. Create effect takes a function, takes an arrow function. In this arrow functions, what we are doing, we are accessing to that action variable, this .action $.pipe. Then of type also we have to import from ngrx/effect. And of type, here we will providing the typecasting for the action, auth action.login. This auth action we are importing from action types. So that's why it is necessary to import all the action in the action types, so that we will get a typecasting for the action. Typecasting in the sense like if you want to use action.user, it will be automatically, you will get the intelligence, because we are using auth action.login in typecasting for the action. So okay, that's a different story. So it's a pipe operator having of type operator, in which we are providing the action for which this effect will be executed. I want this effect to be executed for the login action. So that's why I have mentioned auth action.login, and this will return the login action here, the action object, and we need to store the user detail which is being available in the action payload in the local storage. So this we can do using the tap operator. Tap also we have to import from rxjs/operators, which is rxjs operators. In tap we will get the login action. Then what we are doing, local storage.set item, any name we can give. I have given user, then action.user. But local storage store the data in the form of a string, so that's why we have to write json.string. We have to convert the action.user into string using json.stringify. This is how we can store the data in the local storage. This is how we can deal with the side effects. So first of all, we have to import actions, create effect, and of type from @ngrx/effect. and we have to create an instance of action in the constructor using private action $actions. Once we create an instance, then we have to use the create effect function. Create effect takes an argument as another function, an arrow function. Then we have to write this .action $pipe, then of type means for which type of action this effect will be executed. That action type we have to provide. Then once we provide the action type, then we have to use the tap operator, in which we will get the argument as the action. Then we have to store that in local storage using the action payload. That is the process. And after this, like after completion of this arrow function, what will be the next? The next will be, we have to see here pipe operator get end, then comma, then you have to mention dispatch :false. So dispatch :false means this effect is not going to trigger any other action. If this effect, from this effect, if you want to trigger another action, then here we have to mention that action instead of dispatch false. But here we are not triggering any other action, so that's why we have to mention dispatch :false. Otherwise it will go into an infinite loop. And it is being suggested that while creating the effect, you have to stop the server, then create the effect. Otherwise you will get into the infinite loops. Similarly, we have an effect for logout also. So the same way, this .action $pipe of type. Now this effect will be executed for action type logout, for the logout action. We will get the action here. Then we have to remove logout, means we have to remove the user information from the local storage. The local storage remove item, when user is the keyword that we have used. Once we remove the item from the local storage, then we are navigating to the login page again. Here also you have to provide dispatch as false. Okay, otherwise you will go into an infinite loop. This is the two effects, one for login, another for logout. In login effect, we are storing user information local storage. In logout effect, we are clearing the user data that we are storing in the local storage, and we are navigating back to the login screen. All this effect we can create by using create effect function, which we have to import from @ngrx/effect. And then we have to also create an instance of actions that we have to import from @ngrx/effect. Then of type operator is being used for mapping the effect with the action. Okay, so means in this way we can create the effect. And effect is a middleware, like once action is dispatched from the component, it will be received by the effect. Once everything is completed in the effect, then it will go to the reducer. Let's go into the reducer. For reducer, we have a folder, same as our global reducer. We have a folder called reducer folder, in which we have an index.ts file. In index.ts file, if you see, we have an interface, export interface auth state. Here we'll define what we want to store in your auth state. I want to store the user information, therefore user : of type user. Then you want to create an initialized state for your auth state. So in the initialize, we are providing user as undefined. Then we have to create a reducer. For reducer, what you have to do, for reducer we have to call a function. You can create a reducer by using the create reducer function. It takes the initial state and contains the on statement. This on we can consider as a switch case statement. In the on statement, what it is mentioned, if the action auth action.login, if the action is login action, then what is the state that should be returned. So if the action is login, then we have another function state having two parameters, state and action, and we are returning the updated state. So we are returning user colon action dot user. And this is the payload, means we are updating the auth state with the user information, and the user information we are getting from action dot user. And if it is a logout state, then we have to return a new state in which user is undefined. So reducer is a pure function, and on the it handles, it receives the action and it will manipulate the state in the store based on the action. There are switch statements. It will match the type of the action and it will return a new state on the basis of the type of the action. If it's a login, we are returning a new state in which the user means in that state we are storing the user information. And if we log out, we are making the user information as undefined. Okay, for creating the reducer, we have a state in which we define the property that we want to store in that state. Then we have initialized state in which we provide the initial value to those properties of the state. Then we have to create a reducer by using the create reducers, in which we provide the initial state having on statement. This on statement is just like the switch case statement. On the basis of the type of the action match, it will return the new state. That's it. And if you see, the reducer name is auth reducer. If I will go to my auth.module.ts file, we will find store module.for feature. This is the auth state, and this auth state is being changed by or is being maintained by or modified by auth reducer. This is the reducer that we have created, auth reducer. Okay. And if you see the effect module, you will find auth effect, and this is the effect that we have created, auth effects. Okay, so that we have defined in the store module and effect module. Okay, so once again, if I will summarize, we have to dispatch an action from the login function in the auth component.ts file by using the store.dispatch login action, and will provide the payload as user payload. Then for dispatching the action, also we need to create an action. So there are two actions we have created in action.ts file, one login and logout action. Login action has a type as well as payload. Logout action has only type. Then once this action is triggered, it will be first received by the effect. And in effect, we are defining what to do for what action. If it's a login action, we are storing the action payload in the local storage. If it's a logout action, we are clearing the local storage by using the create effects function. Then we have a reducer. Once everything is done with the effect, then it goes to the reducer. In reducer, we have a state, we have interface, then a state, and we are creating the reducer using the create reducer. That is a on statement, on clause, or you can say switch clause. On the basis of actions, it will return a new state. If it is a login actions, then we are storing the user information in the auth state. If it is logout action, then we are making user information as undefined. That's it. Okay. Then let's come to the guard concept. So if you see in the login functions, once it gets successfully logged in, we are navigating to the course page. So once we are navigating to the course page, then our authentications or auth guard that we have implemented for the course screen, that will be triggered. If you see, first let me go to the file where we have defined the router configurations. So I have defined the router configuration in the app module, if you see. So this is the router configuration, in which for the path ports we have can activate guard. Then we have created a auth guard. Even for the chart also we have can activate guard. So we are guarding this two screen using the can activate guard. And auth guard is a service that we have created. Okay. This auth guard also you have to provide it in the provider array. Okay. Auth guard. So we'll now, the next step is we'll look into the auth guard. So let's open the authguard.ts file along with auth.selector.ts file. Okay. Before going to the auth guard, let's have a look on the selector file. So now in my application, if you see, let's go to my application. If you see, the store contains the auth state. In auth state you will find the user information. How we will fetch the data from this store. How we can query the store to get the data. So we can fetch the data from the database or from the store by using the selector concept. So we have to create a selectors. So for selectors, what we have to use, first of all we have to create a feature selector. Create feature selector. Then we provide the slice of the state which you want to extract. So we want to extract the data for the auth state, and means for the auth slice, and this auth slice belongs to which state? The auth state. Auth state how? Because we defined in reducer file for the auth state, for the auth reducer the state is auth state, and we want to extract the auth slice, so that's why we have to mention the auth state. Okay, so once we get the auth state, means auth slice means we are getting the entire data, auth users up to this. Okay, this is the entire line we are getting, but we are interested in only the user information, not the entire auth. So once we get the create feature selector, then we have to create the selector for getting the exact information. In create selector, we are passing this, we are changing this create feature selector. So this will give me the auth state that we are receiving here. This will give the auth state, and we interested in auth.user. So we are into the user informations. But what is the use of these two exclamation sign? So if I will remove this exclamation sign, now the is logged in contains the user information, but I need this is logged in to be boolean, so it should store the boolean information. For that I have to use two negations, two exclamations. Means if auth.user has some data, then first exclamation will make it false, second exclamation will make it true. Means if the auth slice has user data, means the user is logged in successfully, that's why each logged in should be true. Similarly, we have another selector, each logout selector, in which we are passing the each logged in. So we can change this, we can change the selector. Each logged in gives the true or false value. So here we will get the true or false. So we have to negate it. Means if login is true, then it will be false. Each logout will be false. If login is false, then each logout will be true. We'll negate it, because login and logout are opposite of each other. Okay, so that's why we have to negate it. This way we can access the information in the store by using the selector. First of all, we have to use create feature selector, then create select. In the create selector, we have to provide the feature selector, and we have to extract the data. And we can change more than one selector also. And you have to import create feature selector and create selector from @ngrx/store. Okay. and this is the auth state that we have imported from reducer in this file. Okay, this is under the reducer folder. So once you get the selector, then comes to the artguard.ts file. Guard is a class, or you can say is a service having @injectable decorator. It implements can activate interface. So as an interface, so it has a method. We have to override the can activate method having two parameter, one activated route snapshot and another is router state snapshot. One is activate route snapshot, another is router state snapshot. And can activate can return boolean value, either a normal boolean value or observable of boolean type. So here we are returning the observable of boolean type. If the observable of boolean type is true, then user can able to navigate to that page whatever the user has requested. If it is false, then user could not able to navigate to the requested page. Okay, so now we are returning this store.py. Then we are using the select operator. This select operator we have to import from ngrx/store. Okay, and in the select operator we have to provide the selector, each logged in selector. So we are providing the selector that we have created, each logged in selector here. So we are means we can access the selector by using the select operator. Then each logged in, what each logged in selector is returning is a boolean value, true or false. So we will get the boolean value in here in the tap operator. So here we are doing some side effect. If you want to do some side effect, we can use tap operator. In the side effect, what we are doing, if logged in is false, let's suppose this logged in is false, means user is not a valid user, then false of negation is true and it will be navigated to the /login. It means if user is trying to access any page without login, then user will be navigated to the login page. Okay. Now this way, like we can create the auth guard. If this is logged in is true, then this will return observable of true, so that user will navigate to the requested page. If each logged in is false, then this will return observable of false, so user won't be navigated to the requested page. Okay, so this is how we have implemented the selector. Okay, so these are like, I guess everything is clear, right? So we have a store. For manipulating the store, we have to dispatch an action. This action is handled by reducer. Then reducer will work upon this action on the basis of switch statement, and it will update the state as per the action payload that it received. And we can subscribe to the data from the store by using the selector functions, selector operators. Okay, then if you want to fetch some data from the database, then we have to make use of effect. Or if you want to store something in local storage or session storage, that these are all side effects, then we have to make use of effects concept in NGRX. Okay. And thank you guys for watching. So we have completed the NGRX concept on login authentication for login modules. We have seen how we can disperse an action, how we can store that in a local storage, how we can subscribe to this state in the store by using the selector operators, and how we can implement the auth card using in the NGRX way. In the next tutorial, we'll see how we can implement the NGRX concept in the courses screen in the course module. Thank you guys.